Hey guys, it's GoldenSteelTV here. This is the first Minecraft video of 2020, and I've been wanting to do a Minecraft video for a while, so here I am doing a Minecraft video for you guys. Alright, what we're gonna talk about is of course the Super Bowl and my new plans. And one important topic we need to talk about, which I'll get to. Alright, we're in my village of Floyd. This big mansion is used as the villagers' living quarters. It's where they can sleep for the night, so they don't have to break into other people's houses to sleep for the night. Alright. The Super Bowl 54 is coming on Sunday, or today as of this video, if you're watching it on a Sunday. It's between the Chiefs and the 49ers. My pick for Super Bowl 54 is the Chiefs, mainly because Patrick Mahomes is the X factor, and so is Andy Reid's offensive strategies. Andy Reid himself got to the Super Bowl before, which was just once in 2005 when his Philadelphia Eagles faced the Patriots, only to be crushed by them, and they lost. However, more than a decade later, the Eagles, without Andy Reid, would go on to get their revenge on the Patriots. And you know the story, but needless to say, they did win against the Patriots in Super Bowl 52. And that's basically the whole story, just to make a long story short. Alright, others said that the 49ers could win because of the defense. There are people who say that the 49ers defense could win the MVP, the Super Bowl MVP, because they think Jimmy Garoppolo is a game manager. Well, some people don't understand the definition of a game manager, but you have to understand football clearly to get to know what that means, you know? Alright. The Irish flag got replaced by the Italian flag to honor the Italians, and I'm actually into Italian culture by liking Italian food and Italian literature, you know? Alright, I built the new movie theater. It's not finished completely yet, but here's what it's looking like so far. It's called Showplace. And the only movie being shown for now is Bad Boys for Life, starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. I'll put up more movie posters when the project is complete on the movie theater. I should get the movie theater done as soon as possible, and then in another Minecraft video, when it's done, I'll give you a tour. Okay, we're gonna take a look at the stadiums. The basketball arena is still open, but the football stadium is closed until March, because now soccer, football are over with until March. Soccer doesn't start until March. Football doesn't start again until September after the Super Bowl. So as you can see, all the lights are out. No one's here. The field is now empty. Even the locker rooms have their lights out. So it's gonna stay like that until it reopens in March. Alright. Continuing to talk about the Super Bowl. The other reason people say Jimmy G is a game manager is because he, in the game against the Packers, which got his team to advance to the Super Bowl, he didn't throw in passes too much. He was often he used running backs, and it helped them win against the Packers to clinch the Super Bowl trip. Alright, this is the new camp that I just built. Like the movie theater, it's not finished yet, but here's what I got so far. Here's the jacuzzi tub, and the eating hall, and the bunkers, and the sleeping quarters, the bonfire, a big lake, and it's called Camp Eagle Pass. The camp is not done yet, but I should get that finished as soon as possible. I will also open up more camps in my land, so I'll give you a tour of the camps when I'm done with them. If the 49ers, like I said, if the 49ers win the Super Bowl, the MVP could be a defensive player or running back or even Jimmy G. Who knows? If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, the most likely MVP could be Patrick Mahomes. That's my prediction, but we'll just see about that. I would love for the Chiefs to win against the 49ers, and that's what I'm gonna say for now. This is the future start of a new station that will be built as part of a new rail project that will have the rail system run through several villages from one city to another city. One of the cities has not been built yet, but I will show you in a bit. And the plan is for the rail system to run through several villages and provide faster and efficient service to these villages from one city to another. And these train stations will serve these villages and will help serve their needs for when they need to go somewhere, like to a new city or to a city that has pre-existed. And here's the site of a new city that will be built soon. And alright, it's gonna be called Park Home, named after a childhood park that I used to go to as a little kid. And I'm not sure how big the city will get, but hopefully it gets bigger, like New York or LA or Chicago. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and go to another village, but for now, the rail project and all you need to know has already been explained. So that's all I got for the rail project. A few more things about Super Bowl 54. Super Bowl 54, like I said, will be between the 49ers and Chiefs. It will take place in Miami. It will be on Fox, and the announcers for the game will be Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, and that's pretty much it. That's all you need to know about the Super Bowl. Alright. This is an unpopulated village with no buildings and homes, just farm fields and the water well, but I'm letting others choose the name of this unpopulated village. I will announce the winner of the poll when I get the votes counted. Okay, one last thing about the Super Bowl. The halftime show is supposed to be of Shakira and Jennifer Lopez, but I don't give a shit about them that much, cause I'm not really into their music, and and you know that I'm only into classic rock and heavy metal, reggae, and that's pretty much it. But I also have to say that I'm also into a bit of Spanish music, but only classic Spanish music. Okay, we're here. We're gonna sleep in this village for the night. I'm gonna sleep in this village for a few nights. Alright, we're gonna stay here for a few days. We're in this village called Rowan, and it's a pretty big village, just like the main village I live in. And here's what it is. All right. All the people here are really cool, and it's a pretty interesting village, given that it's in the forest and has and that it is secluded from most of the settlements that I got. Okay, that's all I can talk about of this. That's all I can say about the Super Bowl and my new Minecraft projects. There's something we need to talk about. It happened recently, and I'm sure all of you know about it by now. But for those who forgot or don't know, and as many of you know, Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash on Sunday, along with his daughter Gianna, aka Gigi, and several other people on board. And they were all killed on impact, as far as I know. And the first news outlet to report his death was TMZ, who were later criticized later on in the news conference for telling the world that Kobe died before their families could have known. And you know what's bullshit? TMZ is a really toxic news outlet, but I won't go into much details of its criticism. But let's talk more about Kobe. For what, the investigation is still ongoing, but as far as I know, that's the name of the village, Rowan. Alright, back to Kobe. But as far as I know, and at around 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, or Standard Time, Kobe and his daughter Gianna and 7 other people took off in a helicopter from an airport in California, south of Los Angeles. And they were underway to Kobe's basketball academy called the Mamba Sports Academy. And they were underway for Kobe's daughter Gigi and a few other kids on board to play their game. And at around 9:45 a.m. Pacific time, though, they crashed into the hills near Calabasas, California, killing everyone on board. And it was foggy on that day. All helicopters of the LA Police Department and Fire Department had to stay on the ground because it was so foggy on that day. It was a heavy fog that the helicopter shouldn't have flown in. And the helicopter crashed into the hills, likely because of the fog, but I don't know all the details yet, as the investigation is still ongoing. Some 2 hours after the helicopter crashed, it was reported that Kobe died in a helicopter crash, which is true. But because the media is so likes to make stuff up, they claim that all 4 of his kids died with him on board, and that maybe his wife Vanessa died with him too. But that was later refuted, and it was later revealed that Kobe's daughter Gianna, aka Gigi, a 13-year-old girl, died with him on board. And it was later revealed that 7 more were died with them. And their bodies were later recovered a few days later, and the crash caused a huge fireball and a lot of smoke that their bodies wouldn't be recovered until a few days later. After the news spread of Kobe's death, sports sports news outlets like ESPN and Fox Sports and many others almost immediately reported his death. And it was during a Pro Bowl that that all their players got the bad news of that even a Pro Bowl quarterback, Russell Wilson, led his NFC team in prayer before the game started to honor Kobe. And Kobe's death was all they kept talking about throughout the Pro Bowl game. While nobody gives a shit about the Pro Bowl these days, when you were watching it, it was hitting you hard when you heard that Kobe died. And that was all they kept talking about. Even the players they interviewed during and after the game shared their thoughts on Kobe. And after the news broke of Kobe's death, NBA teams that played that day held a moment of silence for Kobe, and each team had the 24-second clock violation and an 8-second shot clock violation to honor the numbers that he wore with the Lakers, such as number 8 and 24. Number 8 was what Kobe initially wore when during the first 10 years with the Lakers, and then switched to 24 for the rest of his career. And that's all you need to know about his numbers. And the Lakers played against the 76ers the day before Kobe's death. It was also the same game that LeBron surpassed Kobe for having the most career points, and he did have something to say about Kobe. And of course, what LeBron didn't know was that the next day, Kobe would die. And not everyone knew that because everyone thought all was going well with Kobe. And nobody predicted that he would die soon than later. And nobody expected him to die. Even I didn't expect him to die that early, you know? Because he was a legend that nobody wanted him to die, you know? Alright. There was this one guy who predicted Kobe's death on Twitter. That was several years before this happened. And he predicted that one day Kobe would die in a helicopter crash, which sadly came true when that happened. And everyone immediately bashed him for making that eerie prediction, and he later apologized for making that prediction. Since he was a Kobe fan, he wasn't hating on Kobe, but because Kobe was known to have used helicopters as a primary mode of transportation, maybe his fan had a nightmare about him dying in a helicopter crash, and he took to Twitter to talk about what he saw in his nightmare. But whether he had a nightmare or not, I don't know. Maybe I should ask him. But what he predicted is gonna haunt him forever when he thinks about it. He's gonna have to live with the fact that he predicted Kobe's death, and he will have to be haunted by that for the rest of his life. But anyway, all NBA teams honored him with a 24-second shot clock violation and an 8-second shot clock violation. NBA players openly cried for Kobe on the sidelines and on the court. Tyson Chandler of the Houston Rockets cried for him on the sidelines. Devin Booker cried for him. Trae Young cried for him, and even former players cried for him. Dwayne Wade cried for him on an Instagram video post, and one of Kobe's teammates Shaquille O'Neal, aka Shaq, cried remembering him on a TNT pregame show that was shown on TNT 2 days later. Shaq cried remembering Kobe and the memories he had with him. Although Kobe and Shaq did have a rivalry with each other years after Shaq left for the Miami Heat, Shaq still had softer feelings for Kobe, and they were still friends off the court. You know, it seemed like time had passed by that time healed them, and they decided to maybe they decided to forget their hate and respect each other, because that's what sportsmanship is all about. Respect your teammates and respect your former teammates, and respect your teammates, both former and current. Yeah, and Shaq did have some nice things to say about Kobe, and it was hard for me to see Shaq in tears remembering Kobe. It sounded like that Kobe's death left him sad deep down inside, and I didn't want to see Shaq like that, but when you lose your friend like Kobe, shit hits you hard, man. You know. But other NBA greats cried for him, like Jerry West, the guy who played for the LA Lakers decades before Kobe came over and actually helped Kobe get to the Lakers when he traded for Kobe from the Charlotte Hornets on draft day in 1996, which was the year Kobe was drafted, along with a few other NBA Hall of Famers, both future and present day, like Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, Steve Nash, and who else I forgot, but the Hall of Famers taken in the 1996 draft along with Kobe were Allen Iverson, Steve Nash, Ray Allen, and that's it, I think. And they did show some love for him when he died. But you want to know what makes this tragedy even sadder? Is that, you know, Kobe had 3 kids that are still living, and his wife Vanessa, after retiring from basketball in 2016, Kobe became a devoted father, and he was like a fun dad, and he recently had a baby that was born a couple months ago, and he was a really fun dad from the videos you've seen of Kobe being a dad. He was so devoted to being around his children, even his wife Vanessa. He did leave behind Vanessa and 3 surviving children, all of them being daughters. And when you lose both your wife or husband and kid at the same time, like Vanessa lost her husband Kobe and their daughter Gianna at the same time, it's fucked up, you know. Losing both your spouse and kid at the same time, it's really, really heartbreaking, because you never know how much pain you will have to suffer from when you lose both of them. Because losing a relative hits you hard, man. Like losing your parents or grandparents or sibling or cousin or aunt or uncle. I don't know who they are, but it's really hard when you lose someone in your family. Losing a legend like Kobe is like losing a relative, you know? Because stuff gets to you when you lose a legend that you grew up with, you know? And, it's hard to comprehend that stuff because nobody expects legends to die like that. I didn't even expect Kobe to die like that. You know? It sucks, but that's part of life. There are legends that passed away too, like in basketball, like Pete Maravich, the guy who played in the 1970s, and I don't know who I forgot a few other legends, and but others who contributed to the game of basketball, like a guy from TNT named Craig Sager, who passed away a few years before Kobe, and a former NBA commissioner, David Stern, who died just weeks before Kobe. And it's really hard when you lose basketball legends and sports legends too, especially if you grew up with them, you know? It's really hard having to comprehend losing a legend's death, you know? It's really heartbreaking to lose a legend, like losing a relative, because you grew up with them and you watched them a lot and you learned a lot from them, you know? It's just sad and tragic, you know? I really feel bad for Lakers fans because they idolized Kobe and they idolized other Laker legends like Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaq, Pau Gasol, the two guys Kobe played with in his career. There were NBA legends that had something to say about Kobe, like MJ. There are videos of Kobe facing against Michael Jordan, and I have the videos to them with a link in the description below from when they first faced against each other, and that epic game between each other, and the last time they faced each other. And I also got Kobe highlight videos from the time when he scored 81 points against the Toronto Raptors, and the very last game that he played, in which he scored 60 points and then gave a retirement speech afterwards. I have all the videos to them with the links in the description below if you want to watch them. Even Kobe's coach Phil Jackson had something to say about them. And in case you forgot, Phil Jackson did coach both two legends, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. And Jackson won NBA championships with both of them, 6 with MJ and 5 with Kobe. Kobe won 5 NBA championships in the year 2000, 2001, 2002, 2009, and 2010, and he was named NBA All-Star 18 times in his 20-year NBA career, and he was also named League MVP in 2008. And these are all the career accomplishments and achievements that Kobe had in his 20-year career in the NBA. And yeah, these are his career highlights and achievements that he had in his 20-year career. Yeah, losing a legend like Kobe is, you know, like I said, is like losing a relative, because Kobe meant so much to everyone that he grew up with, and those who played with him, and those who coached him. You know, because he was pretty smart and wise, and you know, was spectacular in his 20-year career. You know, the Lakers had to cancel their game against the Clippers 2 days after Kobe's death. They did play against the Blazers, which they lost, but before the game, they had a long tribute to Kobe and his daughter Gianna and 7 other people that died with them in the helicopter crash, and Usher sang Amazing Grace in honor of Kobe. Boyz II Men sang the national anthem, and Charlie Puth and Wiz Khalifa sang "See You Again," and before the game started. LeBron openly cried for Kobe during the national anthem, and it's really sad to see that because LeBron faced Kobe in his career, and like Kobe, LeBron is considered a GOAT in his sport, in the sport of basketball. And Michael Jordan is also considered a GOAT in basketball. But days after Kobe died, the GOAT conversation was put aside for everyone to grieve for Kobe. I'm still in grief, and as you can see and hear from the tone of my voice, you know. And they will honor Kobe at the Super Bowl by doing something nice for him before the game or even during the halftime show. And I would be pleased if the NFL pays tribute to Kobe during the Super Bowl, and I would love to see that. Having said everything about Kobe, his life and career, and what happened to him and the way he died, my thoughts and prayers and my condolences go out to his wife Vanessa, his 3 children, and to all the families of those who died on board in the helicopter crash. And that's all I gotta say about Kobe. And that's all I gotta say about the tragedy that occurred. So, yeah. Okay, now, we're back in the village, and, we're gonna go home now. We're almost there, but I gotta free the villagers from being stuck inside the ground. I gotta get them out of there before they suffocate and die. And right, they're free now. Alright, they're out of there. They can now, it's now safe for them to go. They're okay now. They didn't die, so I'm glad they're okay. Alright, they're out of the ground. Now they're able to move freely. Okay, we're gonna get inside the house, and alright. We're home now. Home sweet home. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching, and in the words of Kobe, Mamba out, and I'll see you guys next time.